A low wooden garden gate appears, weathered and chipped, leaning slightly as though it has grown tired of standing upright. You push it gently, and the hinges sigh, a soft, almost musical sound that blends with the evening air. Beyond the gate, a garden reveals itself, small, quiet, full of tiny details waiting for you to notice. Fallen leaves have gathered in corners, their colors muted but still visible. Browns, golds, soft reds. They crunch faintly underfoot as you move, but never harshly. The paving stones are uneven, softened by moss and lichen, their rough textures a small comfort beneath your careful steps. A stone bird bath stands to one side, its water still, mirroring the amber light of the nearest window. Tiny ripples form as the wind brushes the surface, slow, deliberate, a heartbeat in liquid form. The smell of damp soil rises, mingling with the faint sweetness of lingering flowers and the subtle warmth of wood smoke from somewhere nearby. You pause, noticing the smallest elements, a blade of grass leaning against a stone, a petal caught in moss, the way shadows stretch and twist in the lantern light. The lane feels aware of you here, patient and gentle, as though it knows you need time to explore, to breathe, to exist fully. You take a slow breath in and exhale, letting the calm of the garden settle into your chest, shoulders, and legs. Every rustle of leaves, every subtle hum of insects, every tiny movement becomes a soft lullaby, encouraging your body to relax further. The gate creaks gently as you step back onto the lane, carrying the quiet, meticulous calm of the garden with you. Each step forward is slow, deliberate, a continuation of the meditative rhythm the lane has been inviting you into since you arrived. The lane begins to narrow so gradually that you almost don't notice it at first. Your steps naturally slow, not because you decide to, but because the space itself seems to invite patience. The sidewalk beneath your feet is slimmer here, worn smooth by decades of quiet use. Each stone feels gently polished, its edges softened by time, moss, and countless unhurried footsteps that came before yours. You become aware of how your feet land, heel, then sole, then toes. Each step completes itself fully before the next begins. The moss along the edges of the pavement appears thicker here, deeper in color, its surface velvety and uneven. Tiny droplets of moisture cling to it, catching what little light remains and holding it softly, as if refusing to let it go too quickly. Above you, the trees lean inward. Their branches stretch across the narrow space, almost touching, forming a living canopy overhead. Leaves overlap and layer one on another, creating a ceiling of muted greens and shadowed golds. As the breeze passes through, the leaves brush together with a sound so soft it feels more like a suggestion than a noise. A whisper, then another, then a pause. You notice how the air feels different here, cooler, heavier, more settled. It carries the scent of damp stone, crushed leaves, and distant pine. Each inhale feels fuller, slower, as though your lungs are being gently reminded to take their time. Inhale, pause, exhale. You let your shoulders drop slightly as you breathe out, tension sliding down your arms and out through your fingertips. The lane curves just enough to keep what lies ahead partially hidden. You can see only a few steps forward at a time, which makes the present moment feel complete, self-contained. There is no urge to look far ahead. Nothing asks you to hurry. You notice tiny details now, the kinds of details that only appear when time stretches. A thin crack in one stone filled with a single blade of grass. A small pebble pressed deep into the pavement, unmoved for years. A faint stain where rainwater once pooled and dried again and again. Your breathing naturally slows to match the rhythm of observation. In, out. Somewhere far away, a wind chime hums once. Not a melody, just a low, gentle tone that rises briefly and fades back into silence. The sound feels distant, cushioned by trees and night air, as if it traveled a long way just to reach you. A bird calls once, short and quiet, then nothing follows. The silence afterward feels intentional, complete. You become aware of the way shadows move here. Branches sway overhead, and their shapes drift slowly across the sidewalk, stretching and shrinking with each small movement of air. The shadows never rush. They slide, pause, and slide again, like slow breathing made visible. You take another step, and another. Each one feels grounded, stable, supported. The narrowness of the path doesn't feel confining. Instead, it feels protective, like the lane is gently holding you in place, keeping distractions out, allowing your awareness to settle inward. You notice your jaw unclenching, your tongue resting comfortably, your breath moving without effort. The lane does not ask anything of you here. It simply continues, steady, quiet, patient. You follow. Ahead, the narrow sidewalk opens just enough for a single streetlight to come into view. Its glow is warm and rounded, not harsh or bright. The light spills outward in a soft circle, fading gently at the edges, as though it knows exactly how far it needs to reach and no farther. As you approach, the pavement beneath your feet subtly changes color, shifting from cool gray to amber and gold. The light reveals textures you hadn't noticed before. Fine grains in the stone, faint scratches, tiny fragments of leaf pressed flat against the surface. You slow again, instinctively. Standing beneath the streetlight feels like stepping into a pause. The pole itself is quiet and unremarkable, yet comforting in its stillness. Moss clings to its base, thick and dark, wrapping around the metal as if nature itself decided this place was worth keeping gentle. A single leaf rests near the edge of the light. It trembles slightly, moved by a breeze you can't quite feel on your skin. The movement is minimal, barely there, yet you find yourself watching it, following each small shift, each subtle vibration. Your breath matches the scene. Inhale, exhale. The warmth of the light feels imagined and real at the same time. It doesn't heat your skin, but it softens something inside you. Your chest loosens, your thoughts slow, stretching farther apart. In the distance, the faint hum of a car passes, far enough away that it never disrupts the calm. The sound arrives gently, lingers briefly, and dissolves back into the night. Leaves rustle overhead, not all at once, just a few at a time, creating a layered, uneven rhythm that feels natural and unforced. Insects hum faintly, their presence blending into the background until it becomes part of the silence itself. You stand beneath the light without checking the time. There is no sense of waiting, only being. Your heartbeat becomes noticeable, steady, calm, unhurried. Each pulse feels like confirmation that everything is exactly as it should be in this moment. The lane seems to breathe with you. You take one last slow breath beneath the streetlight. Then, gently, you move on. A porch comes into view on your right, partially hidden behind low shrubs and overhanging branches. At its center hangs a porch swing. It moves almost imperceptibly, a slow forward sway, then back, guided by a breeze so gentle it feels like a memory of wind rather than the thing itself. The chains holding the swing are old but strong. They release a faint creak with each movement, a sound softened by time and repetition. The wood of the swing is smooth where hands once rested, slightly rough along its edges where weather left its mark. A lantern glows near the door, casting warm light across the porch boards. The light stretches into long shadows that shift lazily with the swing's motion, never settling, never hurrying. You step closer. Placing a hand on the swing, you feel the coolness of the wood beneath your palm. Solid, real, comforting. The swing responds to your touch with a gentle movement, as if acknowledging your presence. Creak, pause, creak. You breathe in deeply. The scent here is warm wood, old paint, night air, and something faintly sweet, perhaps dried flowers or memories lingering in the boards themselves. As you exhale, your body mirrors the swing, forward, back. You imagine someone once sat here, breathing just as slowly, watching the lane settle into night. Their presence feels gentle, non-intrusive, like an echo that never learned how to leave. You don't sit. You don't need to. Simply standing here is enough. Your muscles soften, your posture eases, your breath deepens. The swing continues its quiet rhythm even as you step away, as though it remembers how to move without instruction. The lane receives you again, calm and unhurried, guiding you forward. The lane begins to curve so subtly that you feel it more than you see it. There is no clear line marking the end, no sign, no barrier, just a gradual thinning of houses, a soft retreat of human presence. The trees grow closer together here, their trunks darker, their branches reaching overhead with quiet familiarity. Your steps slow even more, not because you're tired, but because there is nowhere else to be. The pavement beneath your feet becomes less defined. Stones are spaced farther apart now, with patches of earth and moss filling the gaps. The ground feels softer, more forgiving, absorbing sound and movement alike. You notice how quiet it has become. Not empty silence, but full silence. Leaves rustle gently above you, one cluster at a time. Somewhere nearby, insects hum in a low, continuous layer, like the distant echo of breath. The sounds do not compete with one another. They take turns, allowing space between each moment. You inhale slowly. The air here is cooler, carrying the scent of pine needles, damp soil, and something faintly mineral, stone that has rested in the same place for years. The smell settles low in your chest, grounding you. Exhale. Your shoulders sink. Your hands feel heavier. Your jaw loosens. The lane curves again, and you realize you can no longer see where it leads, and that feels comforting. There is no pressure to continue, no sense of needing to reach something. The end of the lane does not feel like a destination. It feels like permission to stop moving forward. You pause. The earth beneath your feet feels steady, ancient, patient. It holds your weight without complaint. You imagine how many evenings like this it has witnessed, how many quiet endings, how many slow breaths, how many moments where nothing needed to happen. Your heartbeat becomes noticeable again, steady, even, unrushed. Inhale, exhale. The trees seem to lean in slightly, their presence protective rather than enclosing. Shadows deepen, but they remain soft at the edges, blending rather than cutting sharply. You feel small here, but not alone. The lane seems aware of you, not in a watchful way, but in the way a calm place simply acknowledges whoever arrives. It does not ask your name. It does not ask your story. It allows you to exist. You take one last slow step forward, then another, and then you realize, without thinking it, you don't need to go any farther. You find a place to settle. It might be a patch of grass softened by time and dew. It might be a low stone wall, cool and steady beneath you. It doesn't matter. Your body knows how to choose. As you lower yourself down, the world seems to exhale with you. The ground supports you fully, your weight, your stillness, your breath. Nothing shifts. Nothing asks you to adjust. You are held exactly as you are. Above you, branches sway gently against the night sky. Their movement is slow and rhythmic, like waves passing through leaves instead of water. A faint wind chime hums somewhere far away, not close enough to demand attention, just present enough to remind you that the night is alive. Inhale, exhale. You notice the way your breathing feels now. Deeper, smoother, unforced. Each breath seems to arrive on its own, leave on its own. You don't guide it anymore. You simply follow. The insects continue their quiet chorus. Leaves shift now and then. A breeze brushes your skin lightly, barely there, like the softest touch. Your thoughts begin to stretch out. They arrive more slowly. They drift away more easily. You no longer feel the need to observe every detail. The lane has shown you enough. Now it allows you to rest within the feeling it created. Your body grows heavier. Feet, legs, hips, back. Each part settles fully, releasing the effort of holding itself upright. Your hands rest where they fall. Your face softens completely. Inhale, exhale. The world beyond Willow Lane feels distant now, muffled, unimportant, gently pushed away by the quiet. There is nothing waiting for you, nothing unfinished. Only this moment, only this calm. The lane continues to breathe, slow and steady, and you breathe with it, without trying, without thinking. Your eyelids grow heavy. Thoughts blur into sensation. Sensation fades into warmth. Warmth dissolves into rest. Sleep doesn't arrive suddenly. It drifts in, softly, patiently, like the lane itself. And as you rest there, fully supported, fully calm, Willow Lane grows quiet around you, holding the night, holding your breath, holding you, as sleep gently takes over.